Hello and welcome. This is CryptoShin with a new episode of Simple Cryptocurrency Webcasts. And as you probably know, on my channel I cover a lot of the news from NEO and from the NEO dApps, which are the projects on the NEO blockchain. And a lot of times when I do the news video, I actually look at the NeoNewsToday website, which is the main source of news for NEO and its dApps. And today I've got a special person with me. It's Vincent, who actually works for NeoNewsToday. Vincent, welcome to my webcast.
Hi, Cryptos. Glad to be here today.
Glad to have you. Glad to have you. So please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I work in IT. I'm French, but I moved to Canada a couple of years ago. And I've been involved in cryptocurrencies and blockchain for, I'd say, the past 3 years.
Yeah.
Mostly the last two, but it's been a while, I'd say.
Wow. Cool, cool. So you've been in it quite a bit then. So when did you actually first get into cryptocurrencies, and what was your first coin or token that you actually looked into?
That's a good question. I think it was late 2016, early 2017. And to be honest, I think the first one would be Ethereum, mostly because the technology behind it was very interesting. All the smart contract aspects and running projects on top of Ethereum was what attracted me in the first place.
Wow. That's pretty cool actually. So let me just check something. So please, could you explain what a working day is like at Neo News today?
So I have a bit of a different role than most of my colleagues at NeoNewsToday. We're about a team of 6 people. So I'd say I do write stuff from time to time, but usually I mostly work on the back end, whether it be website design or for the past couple of weeks, for example, I've started managing their Twitter account. So I'm doing a bit of everything. And from time to time, if there is like an article which I like a lot, I can write it if I want. So I'd say we are a team of very knowledgeable and very smart people, which try to cover objectively all kind of stuff neo related.
Yeah, yeah. Is the team big actually at Neo News today? I mean, do you have web developers and?
No, we don't. It's only 6 people, and mostly writers and editors. So it's a very small team
Right, right.
for such a website. I mean,
Pretty cool, pretty cool.
yeah.
So how do you actually find the latest news about the projects on the Neo blockchain? Like what articles do you use as the source? What are your main sources?
I'd say the biggest one would be Medium. Like we follow usually all projects, whether a new one or existing one. And on Medium, basically they publish anything. So as soon as a new goes out, whether it be a progress report or a conference or anything, we try to summarize all of that to maybe mix multiple articles together and to provide a high-level overview of what's happening. So yeah, and also sometimes, I mean, often projects communicate directly with us. So we do have some information somehow in advance. Usually it's just a bit before.
Right, yeah, this is what I was gonna ask you actually. So besides Medium, I'm guessing you also use Twitter probably to check the latest news, right?
Yeah. Twitter and Medium would be the two main one. Maybe Reddit a little bit.
Yeah. And also, so is it the projects that reach out to you guys? So did they just like send you an email and say, look, we're going to be doing this, could you please post an article? Or are you not allowed to talk about it?
No, I'm allowed to talk a bit.
Okay.
So I'd say, so depending which projects, some of them are very nice to work with. Some other try to maybe ask us to do stuff, but it's not how we work. We try to stay very external to this and objective. So sure, they can ask us, okay, we have a new feature or a new conference, can you cover this? But still, we'll have to go with our internal review and such. And depending if it's a fit or not, we publish it. We don't rely on what project asks us.
Right, I see. Yeah, pretty cool, pretty cool. And I remember
Which is a great thing in a news website. You know, you don't want to be influenced by projects. You have to keep an open mind, but
yeah, yeah, no, it's pretty cool actually. And yeah, I remember that one of the guys that works with you, he actually mentioned my video. I believe it was on Neo Name Service when I did a demo of how to claim CGAS. And I believe he mentioned, yeah, I can't remember exactly who he was. I think it was, I can't remember. I don't know if it was Jonathan or something like that, or it was one of the guys on your Telegram channel. Who was
Colin.
pretty active. Yeah, Colin, that's it. That's it. Yes, 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 it was him. Yes, so it's pretty cool actually. Yeah, that was good. That was good. Now, to move on, so does Neo News Today consider expanding to Ontology as well? Because, you know, we've got this close partnership between Ontology and Neo. Do you guys plan to cover news from Ontology more in depth as well as their dApps? Because now we're going to be seeing more dApps on Ontology.
So I don't know everything about that, but from my understanding and from how I would like it to be done, we won't cover ontology news per se, unless it's directly related to Neo.
Right.
Because there are already so many stuff to cover in Neo ecosystem, and sure, it's directly linked. It started based on Neo blockchain. One of the founder is linked. Anyway, all kind of stuff. But still, it's a different blockchain, and I think it doesn't fit well within the purpose of why Neo News Today was created. So, quick answer: yes, we'll cover some of it, but maybe not enough. If you want to have a global overview of both blockchain, it's not the perfect way to follow that.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. It makes sense. Cool. So that's going to be kept separate then. I know that there is a website. Well, it's not a website. It's a Twitter channel, a Twitter page, which
Yeah,
deals
and
with the Ontology
unofficial,
news. Yeah, it's unofficial though. It's not. Yeah, but they've got a lot of following. They've got quite a big following. I think it's over 7,000 people. So
yeah, quite a lot. Like I said, personally, I'm very interested in ontology, but I think it's a separate project now. So you have to draw a line at one point, and I think there's a line in between the two projects.
yeah. No, that's pretty cool. Cool. Thank you for that. So now to move on from Neo News Today. So that's your main job. But what about NeoEconomy? Because I know that you've got a Telegram channel where you talk about NeoEconomy. You've got a website set up, which is pretty cool. It shows your portfolio. It shows a lot of coins and things like that. So could you please talk about that? How did you get into it? Is it part of Neo News Today? Is it like a team effort to create it, or is it just your own thing? Is it your own side project that you wanted to work on and create this website?
So just to add to what you said, my role as part of Neo News Today is not my main job. It's just a hobby or a side job I do on the side.
Oh, cool. Okay. Thought it was.
It is not my main job. Even if I would like to, currently it's not. So speaking of NeoEconomy, I think it started around late 2017, early January 2018. I remember specifically why. On Reddit, someone was asking about, oh, hey guys, do we have any kind of tools to aggregate data specifically from Neo? Back then, it was only two NEP5 tokens, so it was way smaller than it is right now. But still, it was missing some kind of aggregation tools. And I was like, okay, this is something I've always thought about. It's very interesting. I'm pretty sure I can do it. So I replied, I said, okay, I'll start it. And a couple of days later, it was live, up and running.
Yeah.
Frankly, it was quite different than what it is now, but still it was a first version, which a lot of people liked. So I kept iterating on it, adding features and such.
Yeah. No, that's pretty cool. So could you please describe a little bit the website? What is the purpose of it? So like I was saying to you, we've got the portfolio thing. So by copying and pasting your Neo address, you get your whole portfolio, which tells you how much it's worth, what NEP5 tokens you have, right? But could you please speak about some of the other features that you've got there, and what else are you planning to implement as well in the future?
So I'd say the first portion of the website is basically NEO coin market cap. Basically, all kind of tokens currently trading and which run on NEO blockchain are listed with all kind of metrics, whether it be all-time high, some graphs and such. And then there is a dedicated section where you can enter your address. I also support NEO name services, so you can simply enter your NEO address.
Yeah.
And it basically grabs automatically all your holdings. So in terms of quantity, pricing, all-time high, and it grabs it also your holdings. So like you're able to see, okay, my portfolio consists of let's say 50% NEO, 20% gas, and such. So I'm a visual guy, so I try to do a lot of statistic and graphs, and this is what I try to do there. I also added a few graphs specifically related to NEO network health. So, like for example, last 1,000 block time, last 1,000 transaction counts, and such. It's very visual, you know.
Right. So how does that actually work? Do you use some API or something to get this sort of data?
Yeah. So just back to your previous question. So I just want to clarify, it's completely unrelated to Neo News today. NeoEconomy is something I built on my own,
Okay.
and I'm still alone working on it. So it's two separate projects.
Yeah.
Even if I work in both, for NeoEconomy, I'm alone. No one helps me.
Cool.
So how does that work? I basically rely on a lot of APIs. Like for example, NEO name services to automatically convert address to a name. I use a lot also NeoScan for all network health related metrics because I have some very easy API to plug with.
Yeah, yeah.
And all kind of block explorers too. I'm using OTCGo, which is a Chinese Neo block explorer, which is pretty reliable. And this is what basically allows me to grab all the users' balances automatically.
Right. You get the data from the blockchain basically.
Yes.
Is it like a whole copy of the blockchain that you get, or is it just a snapshot?
No, so how does that work is that, for example, the one I'm using, OTCGo, but others do the same. They have some nodes running and they're grabbing themselves a whole copy of the blockchain, which they import in a database.
Yeah.
And their API queries the database. So in a perfect world, this is how it works. But what happens sometimes is that their database is out of sync. This is, for example, what we are experiencing at the moment with NeoTracker, which has basically the same issues. They are running a full Explorer with database, but sometimes for all kind of reasons, it's out of sync. It's not because the blockchain is out of sync, it's just that their database itself is out of sync. And all the APIs query the database. So when that happens, basically I'm out of luck, and what people see on my website might be inconsistent, you know. That's one thing I would like to do in the future. Basically, if I could run my own full database, I wouldn't rely on any API. And in case something happened, I could fix it myself. It would be way faster. Or in a perfect world, I wouldn't have to fix anything because it would work.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of work. On Neo, only a few projects run a full database and are considered true explorer. So, and they have way more people than on my project to work on that. So it's a bit complicated alone to do all of it.
No, it's good. It's good. I mean, the website looks really professional, really cutting edge design, and I really like it. You know, it's attractive as soon as you go on it. That's the important thing, you know, because there are some websites you may get on and then you're like, okay, this website doesn't look so good, so you just close out of it, you know. But this one is actually quite nice as well, and it's the visual aspect that's important, and also, of course, the features, right? Because you can get a quick portfolio checkup and all that. What about a mobile application? Are you looking at that as well?
I started that a long time ago. It's somehow on hold.
Yeah.
Mostly because I lack time. I can do everything.
Yeah,
but
of course.
It's something I want to do.
Yeah.
But recently I started working with O3. So I'm not sure I'll continue working on my own app because basically I can integrate directly within their app seamlessly. So I'm not sure it's needed anymore. I launched 3 days ago my first dApp on O3. So directly within the wallet, you're able to authenticate and benefit from all features from NeoEconomy automatically. So it's kind of if you have an app already.
Yeah. No, it's really good, really good. Thanks for that. Now, another question related to programming. Have you ever coded on the Neo GitHub?
So no, not Neo GitHub directly, but I've worked a bit on. I've helped a bit some stuff on Neo Scan or lately on O3 GitHub because for some specific features or methods I need, sometimes I'm asking them, okay, I would be interested in having this specific function which returns this specific data. So it's mostly tweaks, minor ones, but not low-level coding like you can find on Neo GitHub. It's a bit too complicated for me. I'm not a programmer. Even if I do a lot of programming at the moment, it's not my main job. I work in IT, but I'm a network engineer, so it's
nice.
somehow related.
With Cisco.
Yeah, part of, yeah. And so I do a lot of scripting, for example, which I also do on NeoEconomy, so there are a lot of overlaps. But the programming itself, it's not my main strength.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, I'm a database developer, and even for me, a lot of the stuff are complex because object-oriented programming is just a whole different world, and then you've got blockchain specialization because you need to use the blockchain libraries which are specific. So even for developers which have experience in, say, C# or C++, even they struggle to actually learn blockchain because it's just a world of its own, really. So it's quite interesting.
Yeah. One thing I like about what O3 is trying to do at the moment, it's an overall proposal with the standard where everyone is able to integrate with a provider directly without having to handle all the low-level aspects like blockchain integration, sending assets and such.
Yeah.
All of that is already taken care of. Basically, you're only integrating with them and they take care of that. And the best part is that it's a standard proposal. It's not accepted yet. It's in discussion, but I think it's a future, honestly. If something like that is available on your ecosystem, it's like everyone with any ID can come and implement it easily without knowing the specific of Neo blockchain. And even more on Neo, since Neo is compatible with a lot of programming languages.
Yeah. That's the thing with O3. I'm just amazed at how much they've done. Like, they started off with the wallet, then they've created different features like integrated the Switcho decentralized exchange, then the Travala app, then Staketology by Ontology, so you can do node staking. Now they've got the atomic swap feature as well, and also they're working on the fiat integration for Neo and Gas. It's just amazing, It's like, wow, these guys are just smashing it, like update after update. It's like, wow.
Yeah, they are very smart guys. They keep delivering and they have great ideas. We are very lucky to have them.
Yeah. I always recommend the O3 mobile wallet to anyone who wants to get into Neo. I just say O3 mobile wallet. That's really, really good.
I know you can recommend my dApp too.
And your dApp as well. Gonna do that. Cool. Right. Thank you for that. So, how do you see the future of Neo?
So I think with all the blockchain file storage discussion happening right now, a lot of stuff are very interesting. I don't know enough about the specifics, honestly. Like maybe we'll be able to run a fully decentralized host on the blockchain later, which would be pretty awesome. I have no idea if it's feasible or what are the impacts of that, but this is one aspect I'm eager to learn more. I think at DEFCON we'll have a lot of stuff about that. Also, I'm pretty happy about how Neo is moving forward with decentralization and all the voting aspect too. It's still in discussion again, but even only discussing, okay, how do we want to proceed with which people are able to vote? Do we want to trim the lower 25%? All of that, I think it's very interesting.
Yeah.
It's a brand new concept applied to blockchain, and it's very interesting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I mean let's see how they progress. We had seen a lot of FUD as well on Neo because of the congestion, but then people didn't realize that Neo didn't actually expect so many transactions. To be honest, they were just overwhelming. And it is what it is. But I think that once they upgrade, they will be able to handle bigger
Yeah,
throughput. Actually, that interview with Blockchain Brad and Dahong Fei was pretty good. I don't know if you watched it.
yeah, I did. Very
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, they're
So it's
actually
still, of course, people are expecting that everything works 100% right now, which is not possible.
yeah,
And it's IT somehow, blockchain. So you always improve over what you did previously. So there are many things to do and many things to improve still.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. Like everything, isn't it? I mean, if you think about it, when did they start? I mean, they were on shares in 2017 at the beginning. I think it was around June 2017 that they've converted to Neo. They rebranded to Neo, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think May or
yeah, but
June.
mainnet is live since August 2016.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, they've been at it only for a few years if you think about it. So yeah, we need to give them some time. I think a lot of people are just kind of really, really rushing to get things in quickly to see a lot of progress, but they don't actually understand the technical aspect, how difficult it is to actually make changes in a technical way and to make them good and to make sure they're bug free and to make sure people won't be affected, and then all the other things. You've got marketing on top of that, so that's why you can't really do everything, if you know what I mean. I'm not sure if you get the point, the bigger picture, basically.
You're right,
Yeah, yeah,
especially for all the decentralization aspect.
yeah,
People are sometimes a bit opposed to still having five consensus nodes
yeah,
run by
yeah,
Neo. But the thing is, sure, we could have already 7 nodes or even more run by independent organization. But what's the point on rushing all of that if it's not done properly? I prefer 100% if this is done properly and it takes time with
exactly.
every Neo holders involved, voting for who they want, for what they want. It's a way better decision process.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So sure, it could be better. Sure, it could be faster. But it's still moving, still evolving. So I don't care. I don't mind if it takes a bit longer. It's the future.
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Now, for another question, which is actually quite interesting, this is going to expand a little bit into a few projects, a few dApps. Now, are you concerned that many dApps from Neo are migrating to their own blockchain? So we've seen Phantasma, they're going to do that in Q1 of 2019. Nash as well. I mean, Nash have released a token on the Neo blockchain, but they're thinking of migrating to their own blockchain as well, right? With the decentralized exchange. You've got Apex as well, which are migrating. You've got Travala, I'm not sure. I think there were some talks, but I think they may stay on Neo. And then there are other ones as well, like Ontology is a good example, right? Ontology was also on Neo and they've migrated. So how do you explain this?
So I, 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 I don't think I can name one project which migrated, which didn't announce it beforehand. What I mean is all projects which have migrated or which will, it was known since day one that they wanted to migrate. Like, for example, Ontology, sure, it migrated, but only because it started with Neo Basics. And before it was able to run its own blockchain, it was needed to have some kind of token. So that's the only reason. For example, too, you mentioned Phantasma, same reason they announced a long time ago we are running on Neo blockchain because basically at first they didn't want to take care of all the general blockchain aspects. They just wanted to focus on their core product. And in the meantime, they're running on a functioning blockchain. And sure, they're migrating, but I don't see that as an issue, because first it benefited Neo in a way that a lot of people got to know Neo, as opposed to if it was running since day one on their own blockchain, maybe those people wouldn't know Neo.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. That's a good
So
point.
it's not a problem. I don't think so. And still, sure, some projects are moving over, but new project might move back in.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's true. That's true. And it's kind of like the alternative of Ethereum as well, because people saw Neo as the Chinese Ethereum, right? That's what it was known as. And
Yeah,
and people,
some people called it like that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and also the I mean, it was expensive to deploy a smart contract. It was something like 490 gas, if I'm not mistaken, or 480. I can't remember
500,
exactly.
but the first 10 are free.
Yeah, yeah, and then obviously with the master contract token, you had a huge gas discount, right? It dropped all the way to like 90 gas if you held 10,000 MCT. I'm not sure
Yeah.
if that's still applicable, if it's still possible. Let's say, for example, a dApp wants to go on Neo and they hold 10,000 MCT. Will they still get that price discount? I'm guessing they will.
From what I know, it's still totally doable. It's just that project don't use it because 500 gas is nothing at the moment.
Yeah.
So, and it was one of the most important aspects of MCT to allow people
Yeah.
to deploy a smart contract cheaper.
Yeah.
But there are other use cases. I don't know enough about MCT, but I know it will be used in game for hash puppies, for example, and all kind of other stuff.
Yeah, and actually to talk a little bit about gaming, if you don't mind. So with hash puppies, I mean, I know that they airdropped back at the end of 2017. I think it was December 2017. They airdropped ORHT tokens.
I remember, yeah.
Yeah, ORHT tokens to a number of Neo holders, or not only holders but people that transacted with Neo, I believe. And
Yeah.
and they airdropped them, but we haven't seen much progress from that game. I mean, when you go on their Telegram channel, it's very quiet. I mean, what do you think? Do you have any information on that? Because I know from with NeoNewsToday, sometimes you get information, especially from these games. I mean, do we expect something from them, or is it like?
Yeah, I think it's a good question because this week they announced something. They did mention that in the next couple of weeks we'll be able to redeem our first hash puppies. So it's been a long process. I don't know enough about their specific, but from what I know, it's a small team. So it takes time. I'm not
Yeah.
even sure if they're doing that full time or is it like on the side.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's only a matter of resourcing. If you don't have enough people and if you have a huge expectation, especially because it's a game,
Yeah.
and if you want to be interesting, many features to think about. And still, I prefer a game being delayed than a game being released and not working or buggy.
Yeah,
So I don't know more than that, but if you want to check, like literally 2 days ago, they announced something.
yeah, yeah. No, yeah, I hope so. I hope so, because we've seen some news from Crypto Gladiators as well, which is owned by Black Cat at the moment, I believe.
Yeah.
They're also working on that. Obviously, Black Cat have a partnership with Phantasma, so we're seeing all these dApps that are on Neo building partnerships with each other. If you're noticing that, like, so
Yeah.
grow, trying to grow together, basically, because in this bear market is the only way to survive. Either you have the revenue, or you build a partnership, or you get some funding from outside, but not many who really wants to invest right now, right? So I don't know. Crowdfunding. I mean, talking about crowdfunding, we've got Trovala who are doing some crowdfunding at the moment, because obviously they didn't manage to earn enough during the ICO stage, but they're progressing quite nicely. I mean, we've seen they've got like a real world product, not to shield Trovala, right? This is not financial advice, it's just to actually discuss the dApps on the Neo blockchain, right? This is the purpose of the discussion.
That's the thing I like about Neo. It's because basically it's a complete and working ecosystem where all kind of projects try to work together, and
Yeah,
it all makes sense. I know a lot about Ethereum too, but I don't think it's comparable. Or the integration we're seeing at the moment within Neo blockchain. This is something awesome, and honestly, it could turn into something very huge if all what's supposed to happen. So I'm excited.
yeah. No, definitely. Yeah, let's see how things move on. So yeah, they're trying to move towards the blockchain gaming area. But now let's talk a little bit about Nash. So they used to be called Neon Exchange. They've rebranded to Nash. And actually, I had a webcast yesterday with Steve Good, who's an advisor, crypto advisor for a number of ICOs, and he recently received the certification on security token offerings. And he made some points on Nash. One of them being that obviously there were no STOs last year, yet Nash or Neon Exchange actually held an STO, a security token offering, and not an ICO. But actually, I got a message from Fabio on YouTube saying that they actually had an ICO because STOs, they weren't allowed to use the term STO last year, right? They had to use ICO, initial coin offering.
It's a
So
gray
what do you know
area,
about that part?
It's a gray area because everything is new in that space. Sure, people call that a utility token. Some would say it's a security token, but there's not even laws or organisms which define that right now. Sure, there are formal entities, but they are not involved in cryptocurrencies.
Yeah.
Besides, when sometimes bad things happen and they have to investigate, but still, all of that is too new. So I don't really care how they called it last year. What's important is, I'd say, what they are going to do with it. Like, for example, the dividends aspect. This is how I would consider it to be a security token, for example.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, if they said that it was an ICO because it wasn't an STO, then why does the Nash community say it was actually an STO? This is the part I don't understand. I mean, where does it actually say it was an STO? I mean, do we have some kind of proof somewhere? I don't know, maybe like in the white paper, I couldn't see any information on that. So.
I mean, to me, it looks like the term ICO is mostly a bad wording. It's an initial coin offering, sure, but what it means, it's just a way to raise money. And then depending how you manage and what you want to do with this money, this is where the security aspect the discussion should take place.
Yeah.
So I don't know enough about the ICO versus STO for Nash, but to me it looks like an STO if you ask me.
Yeah. No, it sounds like it, to be honest, and especially the fact that they've got a license, so they're going to be regulated. The license is in Liechtenstein, but again, it's in Europe. It's got a specific license for that country, and I'm not sure if it enables them to operate as a security all over Europe, because the law in Europe is, let's say, more, it's less restrictive, right, compared to US, for example.
Correct.
So yeah, that should be quite interesting to find out what.
I mean, I hope and I believe they already checked that, but there are definitely some good consideration about who will be able to log in, to trade, to do know your customer. So a lot of consideration. It could be tricky,
Yeah. And actually, you guys posted an article on NeoNewsToday recently saying something about March 2019 for the launch. That's when they're thinking to that's the estimated time, right, for the launch?
Yeah, I think this is public information. They announced on their community forum that they are expecting to launch before March, I think it's 17, something like that. And the plan is to announce the exact launch date during DevCon.
Yeah.
So in 10 days, we'll know more about that.
How do you see that from a point of view for the Neo ecosystem? Do you see it as something very positive? Like, personally, I see it as something very positive because that will give access to a lot of the NEP5 tokens that are going to be on there. So I'm sure they're going to be listing, they did announce that they're going to be listing a number of them, including Travala and Apex, I believe, and some other ones, but on day one. And then obviously they're going to expand the list. So we're going to see a lot of NEP5 tokens first, and then you've got the fiat integration as well, which really helps, right? So do you think that's something positive? I mean, we're going to have the O3 mobile wallet, which is going to have the fiat integration into Neo. You're going to have the Nash exchange. I mean, how does that look from your point of view for Neo? Do you see that as something really, really good?
So yeah, of course, it's something very good because first, it's a very highly rated project. Everyone is expecting them to deliver, so hopefully they deliver. And also, it's another DEX, so sure, it's bringing more liquidity to the ecosystem. It's one more entrance point where you're able to trade Bitcoin and gain some NEP5 tokens. So that's a good thing. But on a personal aspect, their overall project seems so interesting. The whole off-chain matching engine, it's very powerful, very interesting. I'm just waiting for them to deliver now.
Yeah, and the atomic swap functionality as well that they're going to be working on. So
in terms of features, it looks very promising.
Cool.
We'll have to see how that goes.
That's really good. Yeah. I look forward to that. So just as a final point of discussion, before we end this webcast, let's talk a little bit about Switcho. So Switcho are the first decentralized exchange on Neo, right? They've been progressing pretty nicely as well. We've seen the Ethereum blockchain being added on there as well. Of course,
Yeah.
they don't have the cross-chain functionality yet. They're probably gonna do it at some point. I had 2 podcasts with the chief operations officer, Jack Yu. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean it looks to be progressing nicely, and they've also announced that they're gonna have the atomic swap functionality, the off-chain matching, and things like that, and the fiat integration. But they also want to migrate off Neo at some point. So and also they did announce that they want to add the Tron blockchain. So it sounds like they're just trying to expand, of course, just like Nash. How do you think, from your personal point of view, that they're going to compete with Nash, seeing as Switch have the first mover advantage?
So it's a bit like you said before. Same thing for Nash. They're not running away from Neo. Basically, what they want to do is run their own blockchain, but this is to fill their own needs. They have very specific needs in terms of decentralized exchange, and which can be fulfilled within a blockchain. And because first they rely on it, so if something happens, they don't have full control over it. While if it's their own blockchain, they took full control.
Yeah.
So it's a bit the same on that aspect for Switch.io and Nash. It's mostly because they want to have full control over tuning, over how they integrate in between chain. Like,
Yeah.
for example, Switch.io and Nash mention the same thing. If they want to add other chain later on, it will be way easier to do if they have their own one running already.
Yeah. No, very good, very good. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think we've covered almost everything we wanted to talk about. I mean, we could extend this talk and basically expand to many projects on the Neo blockchain, but that will take forever. And we don't want to bore people either. You know, we want to cover the important aspects that people want to listen to. So, Vincent, I'd like to thank you very much for joining my channel and the webcast today. It's really good that you've answered some of the important questions that we had about Neo News today and also NeoEconomy. I'm going to be posting the link in the description below, so do check them out if you're interested to access them. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for inviting me. It was a fun experience.
You're welcome. Have a lovely day. Goodbye.